Well, good morning. Beautiful day here in Pahrump, Nevada. Came back out here this morning. Got a little bit of time, so I started taking things apart here. I'm going to insert a shot from yesterday's video of the front of this bus. I was talking about the different gauges of steel here at the front. You know, specifically 14, 18, and 14 gauge, and how I moved all that garbage up there. And I got to looking at this and how the front of this bus is constructed. Now, if you look at this, there's 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the reason why they're set up that way is so that you could access the wiper motors and the light fixtures from the outside of the bus by just taking off a panel here and a panel there. You don't have to go from the inside. That's all fine and dandy. I'm getting rid of all this stuff. I'm going to put LED lights in that I can service from the outside. I don't have to take the panel off. And I got to looking at this piece, and this is a piece of 22 gauge. That's why I use 22 gauge up there and down the sides, because most of this metal is 22 gauge. So this is and it's screwed on. It probably might be riveted underneath here. I don't know, I haven't been underneath it to look, but screws here, no fasteners here. And then there was a piece of extruded aluminum molding that went around the corner here. Same thing up here. And then those panels fit between. I pulled this piece off. It's just a flange to screw those panels to, and take this piece off, and then do this from here all the way to the bottom in one piece, 14 gauge. Then I can justify spending $100 on a whole sheet of metal, because I'll use a good portion of it. At least 7 feet by what, 30 inches approximately. Then if I decide to change my mind and redo that in 14 gauge, I can. I'm not going to, but I could, right? Conceivably. So right now I'm taking out the headlight assembly, and those are really, really cheap. I'm going to see if I can find different headlight assemblies. This is not metal, it's plastic, and the chrome is flaking off the plastic, and then the actual housing that the headlights attached to are plastic as well. Everything's plastic. Why? So I got the little plug-in dealio for the block heater that I gotta take out, and I gotta get the bumper off. I might be able to make this happen today. Yeah. Like inch and 5/8. I ain't got that one. What the? Yeah. So there's the piece. It says, I noticed as soon as I got the bus home and really started looking at it. This piece, I beat it back into shape, but it was all wrinkled up. So it appeared that this had made contact with something immovable at some point in this bus's career. And not only did it jack this piece all up, but the hinge was bent and buckled. The door was jacked up right here. It was buckled, and it was so bent that you could push the rubber seal that held the glass in aside, and you could push a pencil through the gap, and the doors didn't close correctly, and that's why, because this whole pillar, at least at one point, was bent. I beat it back into shape and straightened out the hinge so I could use it. But then notice too that this is where the end of the bumper is, and there's a piece of cap. It's like a guardrail bumper, and there's a little sheet metal cap that goes over the edge of the bumper, so you don't have to look at that ugly end. And that piece of trim was making contact here ever so slightly. Then over on the other side of the bus, it really danked it up, actually cut it a little bit. And then this is bent. Saw this over here, there's a rivet missing here, and this is all floppy, and that's fatigue cracked. I'm gonna have to repair that. Actually, I believe, yeah, there's supposed to be a spot weld in there, and it's failed apparently. So there's the bumper bracket. Look, this one's nice and pretty. This one, not so much. This is all going to be one piece. From the window all the way down to the bottom, and it's going to have to be a piece that is 29 1/4. I'm gonna have to put a have a 1-inch 90-degree bend put at the bottom to give it to make it stiff. Stiff. So 29 1/4 by like about 80 1/2. Yeah, 80 3/8. So I'm gonna have to get a sheet of probably 14 gauge. 16 gauge might do it. That's pretty stout stuff. Anyway, I'll let you know what I use. These headlight assemblies, these are pretty standard fare for like Peterbilts and Freightliners and Kenworths, like on cab overs and on conventional rigs that have a flat headlight surface. Yeah, I don't like the square. I don't like these bezels. I can get the bezels for about 45, 50 bucks on eBay. I can get those, and that'll probably be the way I'll end up going. But since I'm replacing this anyway, I would like to get double rounds instead of square headlights. Get the double round headlight ones. I'll see if I can show you what I'm talking about through a picture online, a screenshot or something. That's what I'd rather have, but I don't want to pay $300 for a pair of them. Seems to be what they're going for on eBay. Because let's face it, I'm a cheap bastard. If anybody out there has got some connections with a big rig salvage yard, or happens to have a couple of those laying around, shoot me a message, and what do you let them go for? If it's 300 bucks, then forget it. That's what I'd like to do. But so I've taken the front bumper off. It, you know, you've seen it. It looks like a guardrail, but they're freaking heavy. I mean, that front one was at least 100 pounds, if it's an ounce. And I'm just gonna make it out of 1/8-inch plate steel. Make a flat bumper, something a little more ergonomic and not so school bussy.